Hey, good morning, Pete, North Las Vegas. Another Camaro update. I spent all day yesterday trying to get these OER fenders that I got from Classic Industries mounted. These are what they call the premium fenders, and you pay a little extra money for the premiums. I don't remember. I think it was an extra 30-40 bucks or something like that. But anyway, I think really the only difference between their premium fender and the other fender that they sell from OER is, I think on the premiums they open up the box and they take a look inside, because when I got the brand new fenders in the brand new boxes, it looks like the boxes have been opened. So I think that's the price difference, is somebody is taking a look at these to make sure that they're not damaged. And the passenger side came damaged anyway. Looked like somebody dropped it on the corner here. It's got a raised section here and a depression or a dent right in here. But other than that, they're very straight. So yeah, like I said, I spent all day yesterday starting from 7 in the morning, and I didn't quit till like 10 o'clock at night. And I tried every kind of shim combination possible under all these main mounting bolts. And the best I could get this side here, reach in here without cutting myself. So the best I could get this side here, you can see how big the door gap is, but still when I open the door, it gets very close. Very close. And part of the reason for this is the fenders fit really good everywhere except right here. The end of the fenders here is dipped down, and it's not damaged or bent, it's just how it got stamped. And you can probably see the edge difference there. And like I said, I put shims all over this fender yesterday. That's why it took so long. I was trying my best to get the best fit, and this is about as close as I got. So when I take the car down for paint or whatever, we'll let somebody that knows more about body work than I do get all that straightened out. Now this side here didn't turn out quite as bad as far as the opening. The gap's still pretty big, and you can really see the difference here. I mean, that's my finger in there. And like I said, I shimmed the crap out of everything. I tried everything I could think of, but this door here has quite a bit more clearance, so not in any danger of hitting here. So the driver's side panel, as far as the gap, fit a little bit better, but this sat quite a bit lower. Overall, everything lined up pretty well. All my bracing struts lined up perfect. Everything lined up perfect on the radiator support. Everything inside lined up really well on the driver's side. I managed to get all these bolts in here without any tweaking or drilling or pounding or anything. It pretty well lined up inside. So that's the driver's side. And then on the passenger side, I had to open up the whole, I don't know if you can see this on the camera very well, but this main support reinforcement washer, the one that goes up here to the top of the fender, I had to open up the hole on this inner fender a little bit to get the bolt started. No matter what I tried, it was off just enough to where it wasn't going to make it through the hole. And as far as these nylon acorn nuts go, these conical style sheet metal screws that they used back in the 70s, these things are wicked. I mean, you just barely touch them and they're going to cut you up. So everywhere that I had one of these conicals poking through the sheet metal where I needed to get, I put these nylon acorn nuts on there just to keep me from getting tore up. And I did that pretty much everywhere that I might get tore up. Okay, well, like I said, everything lined up pretty well on the fenders. And so I went to my assembly manual and I'm checking some numbers here. And this number here cracks me up. 0.08. Yeah, really. Like somebody on the assembly line is worried about 0.08 on the tolerance. Yeah, that one kind of made me laugh. But anyway, so we're supposed to be at 55.8 between the tips of the fender here and the other side. And then this one came in really close. When I stuck the tape measure back here and measured between the fenders, it came in right at 58. So very, very close on that. And this one here is also very close. And you can do a quick measurement on that and I'll show you that. So when we get the hood on, the gaps here between the fenders should be pretty good. I have seen a lot of videos where the curvature of the fender isn't quite right as far as the hood goes, and the hood's either sitting up in the middle or sitting too low in the middle. But like I said, let the body guys worry about that. But anyway, so here's our measurement from that damaged area of the car. Sorry about the camera work. Okay, so we're right at 56. So we just looked at the assembly manual and it says, actually, let me get it in a little better spot. I mean, that is just under 56. So that's this dimension right here that they're showing, measuring from the tip of the fender to the other side. So this is almost perfect. And that is right at 58. So, not too worried about the hood gaps. Like I said, the as far as the horizontal plane, vertically we may have some issues, but I'm not a body guy, so we're going to have to pay somebody to do that. Okay, so now we're going to get to the problem area. Okay, so I test fit the bumper, and this bracket here is sitting a little bit high. And you can see where it's tweaked this way, so I can tweak that down. And right now the bumper sits like just a little bit too high underneath the headlight area. It's supposed to be more down here in this recess, and it almost touches the bodywork. But I can tweak that, so I'm not too worried about that. This is very close. And if you look at the rubber bumper, I don't know if you can see that, but the header is just barely touching it, which is like almost perfect. Like I said, I just need to tweak this a little bit and everything will be fine. Now we get over to the driver's side. You can see that big, huge gap right there. And I got my whole finger stuck in there. I tried to use some crescent wrenches to see if I could tweak this up, and it's like, there's no way. GM welded the support bracket. This support bracket right here. The OEM actually welded that on there. So trying to tweak this thing, it's really difficult, for me anyway. The mounting areas are same size as the bolt. So these are not elongated. So there's no adjustment on the bracket. They bolt where they bolt, and that's all there is to it. And so yeah, looks like the bumper may have gotten hit and kind of tweaked it. This is a brand new radiator support. It's I bought this probably 15 years ago when GM was still actually making these things. So this is an actual GM part. So I don't think there's any issues about where they put the mounting holes on the radiator support. I think this thing is tweaked because when I run my hand underneath here, I can feel that that's not a nice curved radius. It's kind of flattened out in here to where it got pulled down. So I think somebody tapped the bumper, and this side here is a nice radius, and it kind of slowly keeps going up. It sweeps up after the inside radius here, and this one doesn't do that. It doesn't sweep up at all right here. I mean, you can see where it's almost 90 degrees bent down. And like I said, trying to straighten that thing with the support arm welded on the way they did it back then, I couldn't get it to budge. So what I noticed was Classic Industries sells the replacement bumper brackets, but if their picture is correct, the support arms are not welded. They're separate now. So this may give you some adjustability between the bracket, the support arm, and the radiator support to get your bumper closer to where it needs to be. So anyway, I'm gonna get online and spend a little money And sometimes I guess you just don't realize things are tweaked until you start putting the car back together. I tore this car apart a long time ago, and I kind of seem to remember that there may have been a shim underneath this one to get it raised up a little bit, but still the actual mounting pad nowhere near the body panel. And like I said, I know that thing's bent, and I couldn't straighten it. I put a lot of oomph behind it with those crescent wrenches, and just could not get it straightened out enough to get the bumper where it needs to go. So anyway, that's kind of where we're at. I talked about this in the last video. This spring down here was wore out for the hood release latch. So I went out and bought this spring here, and I forget the actual length or size, but I got it perfect. It's like, got just the right amount of tension. And I put some sheathing over the spring so it doesn't tear up my powder coat, at least not right away anyway. Okay, well, I think that's kind of where we're at today. Pete, North Las Vegas, over and out.